Hello, class 6 students. How are you all? So I hope all of you are absolutely fine. So what is Prerna ma'am going to teach you today? So if you remember when we started understanding history chapters, I told you that now because you are in the 6th grade, you will see that there are different segments of social science subject. So I told you that you'll be studying history, you'll be studying civics, you'll be studying geography, because these are the three main dimensions or three main segments of social science subject. Now, history, I told you what it is about, why do we study it. So in today's class, we are going to be studying the second segment, which is civics. So what exactly is civics? What exactly is the civics subject about? Now, we all know that man is or a human being is a social animal. That is, we all live in a society. So every society, so whether it's human society, whether it is animal kingdom or the animal society, so all societies, they have their own set of norms. Here, when I use the word society, I don't mean the societies that you have in particular areas. So in Delhi, you have a few societies in places like Dwarka, in Rohini. No, I'm not talking about those societies. I'm talking about human beings together living as a group. All right. So talking about the entire human society. So every society has certain set of norms, certain rules and regulations that we follow. Why are these norms being set up? So that everyone in the society can live harmoniously. That is, that we do not harm someone and someone else should also not harm us. Correct? So to understand about how a human society functions, what are the rules and regulations, it is for this purpose that we study this subject called civics. Now, most of you would have heard, if we see someone, let's say, throwing garbage on the road, or we see some people destroying public property like buses or parks, all these are public property. So if we come across someone who's doing these things, what do we say? Oh, this person doesn't have civic sense. What is civic sense? The sense to live in the society. All right. So this subject called civics tells you, it tells you what are your duties towards the society. Second, it tells you what are your rights as an individual. Okay. And most importantly, or the third thing this subject tells you is that how a society is organized. What are the rules and regulations? What is the government like? Okay. So in today's class, we are going to be studying one such structure of government. What is this structure of government that we are going to study? We are going to be studying about the local government in rural areas. Now we know that India has mainly two types of areas. One is the rural, the second one is urban. When I talk about rural areas, I mean the remote villages or the village areas that are not fully developed or as advanced as the urban areas. So rural talking about villages, urban talking about cities and towns. So in today's class, chapter number 12, which is there in your book, we are going to be studying about how the government functions in the rural areas. Okay. So let us start reading about it. And this chapter, it is on page number 108. So as you can see on page number 108, chapter number 12, and the name of the chapter is Local Self-Government in Rural Areas, that is Panchayati Raj. So let us start understanding about this chapter. So here we go. So when we talk about, first let us understand what is the overall structure of government in India. Now, first of all, we all know that India is a large country. We have a huge population. So obviously it is not possible to manage so many people, like one form of government, let's say there's only one government, can it manage so many people in so many different states and then people who are residing in villages, in towns? It is practically impossible. So the structure of Indian government is first the topmost government, which is the union government. So when we talk about the union government, we mean the government at the center. Like as of now, which is the government at the center? Bharatiya Janata Party. Correct? Then you have state government. So we know that India is divided into various number of states. So each state has its own government. Now, one thing we need to understand that it could be that the government which is there in the center, the same government is there in some states, not in all the states. So all the Indian states do not have Bharatiya Janata Party as the ruling party. Correct? There would be different governments. So maybe in some state it is the Congress party, maybe in some state it is the Aam Aadmi party, maybe in some state it's like the Trinamool Congress is dominant. So first is the government at the center, then you have different states, different government. Now the third government is the local government. And then you have government which is there in towns and cities, that is the urban areas. Then you have the government which is there in villages, which is generally called as the panchayat. Now, why is there a need to have government in villages? Now, we all understand that in India, the major area is residing, or the major population is residing in villages. So it is pretty obvious that people who are residing in villages have their own set of problems. Is it possible that people from these areas directly approach the central government or the state government? No, the process becomes very long and then it is difficult to approach. That process of approaching the chief minister or the prime minister is very long. It's going to be very long. So there has to be some government, some form of government that can look into the basic problems or the needs of the people residing in villages. And it is for this reason you have the local government. So today we are going to talk about the local government in rural areas. All right, let's move ahead. So first we have understood that what is the basic structure of government in India. Now we are going to study particularly about the structure of government in the villages. Now understand that what are the three levels of the Panchayati Raj system. First is the Zilla Parishad, which is at the district level. Then you have Panchayat Samiti, which is at the block level, and then you have the Gram Panchayat, which is the base government. All right, the government at the lowest level, it is called as the Gram Panchayat, which is at the village level. All right. Now let's talk about what are the components of Gram Panchayat. So you have, first is you have Gram Sabha. So what is Gram Sabha or how is Gram Sabha formed? All adult members of a village, that is all those who are 18 years and above, they are the members of Gram Sabha. So any person residing in village who is of 18 years of age or above is the member of Gram Sabha. And what does Gram Sabha do? It looks into all the important matters of a village. The Sabha has to meet at least once in 6 months. So it doesn't meet every month. It doesn't meet every day or every week, but at least once in every 6 months it needs to meet so that it can discuss what are the issues that people are facing, or maybe the issues that were discussed in the last meeting, have those issues been resolved or not. So depending upon what is the level of problem, the Gram Sabha decides its frequency of meetings. Then members of Gram Sabha, they elect members of Gram Panchayat. And the Gram Sabha works as a supervisory body or audits and regulates the functioning of Gram Panchayat. So Gram Sabha consists of many people. Every person in the village who's 18 years and above is a member of Gram Sabha. And they are the ones who select or who elect, sorry, not select, but who elect. So that there's a kind of a voting system that happens even in villages. So they elect members of Gram Panchayat, who are a handful of people. And they also, so members of Gram Sabha, they can probably remove the members of Gram Panchayat if they see that the people of Gram Panchayat are not working properly. Like in elections at the center level. all the citizens who are above 18 can vote and select the prime minister. Similarly, in villages, all those who are 18 years and above, they elect the members of Gram Panchayat. Now we come to Gram Panchayat. What exactly is Gram Panchayat? The village area, it is divided into certain wards. So it is divided into different areas. Okay, the entire village, it is divided into different areas, and this is called as, in civics, it is called as wards. And each ward, so from each area, from each ward, there is a representative to the village panchayat. So let's say it's a big village. It can be divided into, let's say, 10 wards, 12, 20, 24, depending upon the size of the village. Then each ward, from each ward, so let's say there are 10 wards. Just giving you an example here. Let's say there are 10 wards. So from each ward, there would be one person or one representative in the Gram Panchayat. So how many members will be there in the Gram Panchayat? 10. Okay. Because one representative each from each ward. The Panchayat, we know, is headed by a Sarpanch or the Pradhan or the Mukhya, and each member is a Panch. So Panch. So generally, you know, when this concept of Panchayat Raj started, there used to be only 5 Panch. That's why the Panch word is there. It comes from the number 5. And the one who used to head all these was called as a Sarpanch, and even today is called as a Sarpanch. And this Sarpanch, he organizes and coordinates the meetings of the Panchayat. So he is the one who's responsible for the meetings of the Panchayat, and he acts as a link between the local government of the village and the people living therein. Okay. So basically, Sarpanch is the one who sets up this entire meeting process and how it is to be executed. Okay. One second. Understood till this point? So let's move ahead. Okay, now what are the functions of the Gram Panchayat? So Gram Panchayat, so first taking care of the health and sanitation of the village. That is, the health facilities are provided, proper clean water is there. So all these things, all to ensure all these basic facilities, Gram Panchayat is responsible for it. Providing pure water for drinking. Again, if you have good and pure and clean water for drinking, health is taken care of. Then providing drainage and street light, road construction, then housing facilities, then establishing khadi and village industry so that, you know, sources of income is generated. Elementary education. So, you know, you see, if you look at all these facilities, these are the basic facilities that must be provided to the villagers by the Gram Panchayat. Maintenance of records such as cattle census, population, crops, etc. So why these basic facilities are to be required? Of course, for the progress of the village and its residents. So these basic facilities need to be provided. So in your book, you might have come across the sources of income. So obviously, Gram Panchayat would have hardly any of its own funds. So if you have to build a school, if you have to construct a school, it involves some amount of money. So it is from the state government or from the central government that the government at village level or at the root level, it receives income from these form of governments, from the state and the central government. Now we come to Block Samiti. What is exactly is Block Samiti? It is also referred to as Panchayat Samiti, and this body acts as a link between Gram Panchayat of a block and the Zilla Parishad. So we understood that it is divided into several wards. Now block is also there. So if you remember this diagram that I showed you, Panchayat Samiti. So we started about Gram Panchayat, which is at a village level. Then we come to a higher level, which is the block level. So a lot of villages probably are included in this. And then you have the Panchayat Samiti. Okay. So Block Samiti or the Panchayat Samiti, it acts as a link between Gram Panchayats of blocks and the Zilla Parishad, which is at the top. Okay. So you saw that it was in the middle of the pyramid. Here 2 members are elected. All village pradhans, that is the sarpanches, are the member of this Samiti. So village divided into wards. Each ward sends its representative who becomes a sarpanch. Okay. Now moving up moving a level head, that is the block samiti or the panchayat samiti. So this we talked about gram panchayat. Now we are talking about the zilla parishad or the block samiti. So all these sarpanch, so let's say there are 10 or let's say there are 5 wards. Each ward sends a representative, so you have 5 sarpanch. So all these 5 sarpanch, they will be the members of the panchayat samiti or the block samiti, right? Amongst them, they elect the chairperson. So out of these 5 people, there is one person who acts as a chairperson and a vice chairperson. And this samiti, it serves for 5 years. Like you have president and vice president. Similar is the case with block samiti or the panchayat samiti. What are the functions? We know, again, it's the functions of panchayat samiti or the block panchayat more or less same as the gram panchayat. For example, implement the schemes that are given for the development of agriculture. So let's say the central government or the state government has given some scheme related to development of agriculture. So for example, let's say people can get loans for agriculture without giving any collateral or a guarantee. So to ensure that that scheme is implemented in the villages, that panchayat samiti looks into. Then establishment of primary health centers and primary schools, supply of safe drinking water, drainage patterns needs to be taken care of, construction and repair of roads. Development of cottage and small scale industries. Again, this is talking about increasing the source of income or increasing employment opportunities at the block level, and establishment of youth organization. Source of income, we understand grants and aids and loans from the state government. Now we come to the top level, which is the zilla parishad, the triangle, the pyramid that we saw. So zilla parishad, it is at the district level. It is the highest level of local self-government in areas. The parishad is responsible for smooth functioning of all village panchayats and block samiti. So topmost is zilla parishad, then you have block samiti, then you have gram panchayat. So zilla parishad has to see that all the block level villages, all the root level villages, they are taken care of in the entire district. The members are elected head of block samitis. Remember, we understood 5 sarpanch, let's say. So amongst those sarpanch, one is the chairperson, other is the vice chairperson. So head of block samitis are the members of state assemblies or members of parliament, important officials of district like the district collector, district magistrate, district police officer, and members of zilla parishad. What are its functions? More or less the same. Providing services and facilities which are essential for the rural population. Planning and execution of the development programs for the district. Supply improved seeds to farmers, inform them of new techniques and training in agro production. Set up and run schools. And then again, construction related activities, which we generally, So what we generally call as the infrastructure related activities. So these are the main activities or the main functions rather of the zilla parishad. So in totality, in today's class, what is it that we have studied? We have studied about how the rural government is organized. First we studied what is the overall structure of government in India. Central government or the union government, you have state government, then you have local government, which is divided into urban areas as well as rural areas. In today's class, we studied about rural areas in particular. Rural areas, 3 types of government or local self-government is of 3 types. Top, you have zilla, then you have block, and then you have gram panchayat or the village panchayat. Village panchayat, how does it function? Village is divided into several wards. From each ward, there is 1 representative. All these representatives, no matter what the number is, 5, 8, 10, whatever, they are a part of the sarpanch group. The head, they are the part of the panch group. Panch, the head is called the sarpanch. Coming up to the block level, so from when blocks are, when it is divided into blocks, the local areas divided into blocks. So each block, so each sarpanch, from the village, different blocks, could be any number, 5, 8, 10. So each of them has a sarpanch. At the gram panchayat level, all these sarpanch come together, they form the government at the block level, correct? Or block samiti is what we call it. So amongst these sarpanchs, you have, they elect two people, one as the chairperson and then as one as the vice chairperson. Okay, and then all these move ahead to form a government at the zilla level. Correct? And the functions, or whether it is the functions related to let's say gram panchayat, or functions of block panchayat, or at the zilla level, all of them more or less have the same functions, and the main aim of all these functions is what? Is to ensure infrastructural development. That is, how does that happen? Building roads, building bridges, these are all related to infrastructure. Creating more employment opportunities. So this is more of economic development. So infrastructural development, economic development, overall development. This is how, or these are the main kind of functions that the three forms of government at the local level perform. Okay, so this is all about local self-government at the rural area. So what is it that you're going to do? You're going to read the chapter again, watch the video again, and after that, solve the questions on your own. And if you get a chance to meet someone in the family, maybe, or let's say in around you, try to meet people who belong to these three levels of government. All right, and see what all you can learn from them as well. I'll see you all in the next class. Till then, bye bye.